Welcome to Cyprus and Tosca 41, a United Nations peacekeeping mission that's been on the island since 1964. But what many people don't know is that in 1974, a Turkish mainland army intervention split the island in two. And now an international buffer zone runs across the whole length of the island, and it's frozen in time. And what we're going to look at is how the day in the life of a United Nations peacekeeping soldier maintains that buffer zone.
The island's made up of 3 sectors. Sector 1, which at present is manned by South American countries, predominantly Argentina, Chile, and Paraguay. Sector 2, which is the UK sector and has been since 1964, has again about 180 soldiers from operations companies, support company, and also where the United Nations headquarters is. And slightly bizarrely, Sector 4, which is manned by the Slovakian army. Some of you may ask where Sector 3 is, and it actually has a lot of history to it. It was in 1993 that the Canadians and the Finnish, who occupied Sector 3, they left. They withdrew their support to the UMSIP mission, and thus Sector 2 took over Sector 3.
I'm one of the section commanders out here under 1 platoon, 3 section commander. There's 3 types of patrols that you can do. We've got walking, vehicle patrols and bicycle patrols. The one we're currently on at the minute is walking. All we're looking for is change of status quo. We're looking for overmanning on TF and NG positions. So that's Turkish forces, Greek Cypriot forces. So with the overmanning, you're looking at, for the Turkish forces, if they've got more than 2, I want to say, more than 2 on it, that's when we can put in on teams that is an overmanning violation. We'll send that up to our TOC, which is our ops room. They'll then come back to us, and whether it is an overmanning, whether it's not an overmanning, we'll give as much information as possible, and we'll get pictures, videos as necessary when it comes to it. With the change of status quo, it's basically, it can be as little as a sandbag or a big drum, just to change. So say there's 4 drums and then there's 5 drums, we've then got to report that up to our TOC, and then they'll push it on from there. So they'll sage that and go from there.
My name's Second Lieutenant Tremelling. I'm a platoon commander on Tosca 41 within Operations Company in Sector 2. My role is to lead and manage 28 men and women on their patrols and in their day-to-day camp life. A key part of our role as the platoon HQ is to make sure that my soldiers are fighting fit, because at the end of the day, we're still soldiers, we need to carry out our tasks, and if we're not fit enough, we can't do our role. I also plan lessons with my platoon sergeant to make sure that my soldiers both know what they're doing on operations, as well as keeping their soldiering skills up to date.
We use a number of ISTAR assets. So we've got UN flight capability, which is controlled by the United Nations headquarters. So they can do aerial photography, aerial surveillance, but also are used as a medevac capability for UN soldiers in the buffer zone. Yeah, so we in Sector 2 have organic photographic capability, primarily trap cams, which we can conceal to monitor movement in the buffer zone, which is unauthorized. But we also use iPads as our primary form of reporting to our TOC, which is our Tactical Operations Center, which you think of as almost the brain of Sector 2. It's almost the brain of the Sector 2 cell.
So here we are in Sector 2 central area of operations in Nicosia. It's one of the narrowest parts of the buffer zone. Me as a section commander, I will lead patrols out, roughly about 5 a day, covering up to 18 hours of a 24-hour period within this area. What we're looking for most in this area is a move forward violation or even an overmanning violation. Sometimes I also like to put drones up in the air or also put other cameras up in the AO. We also do joint patrols with the UN police, looking for migrants within the buffer zone that have crossed over from side to side. Approximately about 30 minutes ago, we had a drone flying over us, watching what we were doing, just trying to get eyes on and potentially eyes on into the other side.
So I'm Gunnar Marden. I am from artillery. I was recently a medic but had to transfer because all the medic pits were filled here. So I transferred cap badge to become an artillery gunner so I could deploy on Tosca. I am a full-time mum, so it's had its challenges, being a single mother and trying to hold the job down. I was beforehand a retail trainee store manager, to then go on to wanting bigger, better things in life. I wanted to be a better person and version of myself.
Yeah, joined the army 2015. Straight to the artillery, and that's pretty much where I spent most of my career. I was there up in Newcastle for 4 years, and then spent 6 months in Cyprus doing adventure training, and then ended up in Larkhill for the last 3 years. And then I was just a bit bored, and I felt like doing something different in the army, but I just didn't know what it was at the time. Which is why when I left, I decided to join the reserves, because then it was like keeping my foot in the door sort of thing. When I first left, I worked at care homes doing exercises with the elderly and disabled people, which was great. But, and then I ended up working in a gym and doing classes and that sort of stuff. But I got quite bored of that quite quickly. And then Tosca came up, and I thought, well, again, this is a chance to try something a bit different again that I've not done before. And that's what got me here, pretty much. Yeah, so there's obviously a big mix between regulars and reserves here, because even though our platoon is a reserve platoon, we do have some regulars from other places. So there's some engineers, there's some from other artillery elements. And I think originally people expect you to not be as switched on as the regulars, or as fit, or as interested, but because people have volunteered to be here, they've made a bit more effort.
When I tell my mates back home, I get to see abandoned villages which have pretty intense history, but I'm the only one that's allowed to see it, and my troop's the only ones allowed to see it because we're patrolling and doing that job. I get to meet fascinating people. So farmers in my area of operation who have crazy backstories, they always come and talk to me, and these people that you just wouldn't meet if you weren't doing the job.